Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. In this discussion, XRP will be the topic of discussion. The financial institutions of the nation will also be discussed. The FDIC estimates that US banks have unrealized losses of over $620 billion. Right now, it seems to me the FDIC is aware of impending much larger events. Do you have any idea why they gathered together? When did the bail discussion take place? US banks have over $620 billion in unrealized losses, says FDIC Chairman Martin Grunberg. Furthermore, in light of the fact that Svb demise was not directly an isolated incident in what could become a problem for several banks within the country if several banks were to fall simultaneously, it is important to note that this is not an issue that is unique to Svb. Those losses are not covered by the FDIC. Individuals will not be healed. According to CNN reporting, the failure of Silicon Valley Bank exposed a growing discrepancy between the amount large lenders valued bond holdings at and their current market value. It seems to me that everyone is bracing for the worst, even though this topic isn't getting much attention in the mainstream media. They're leaving out crucial information from their report. Individuals waiting in line to withdraw cash from the First Republic Bank ATM in Brentwood, Louisiana. Weekend, hopefully. This is a wealthy area with numerous uninsured accounts in excess of $250,000. That's right, if you have more than $250,000, your policy will only cover the first $250,000. The stock of the bank has dropped by 33% in the past week, but few people seem to have noticed. It is. To what extent does this represent the beginning of a bank run? You know, this time last year I was explaining how this was also occurring in other nations. And every single time, commenters assured us that such an event would never occur in the United States. We live in a time and place where this is happening despite the fact that no government would ever sanction such behavior. The number 39/2023 Svb has submitted an SEC Form 24-BTWO. The day before their plane crashed. 310/2023 Svb entered receivership the day after the petition was filed. Not to mention B, A, C, and J, P, Morgan. As a precaution against a market collapse, MS. GS 5424B, two large financial institutions have been selling billions of dollars worth of notes. Having seen what has happened with Svb, I predict that other banks will follow suit. According to Janet Yellen, Silicon Valley Bank will not receive a federal bailout. There will likely be bank runs at other institutions as a result of people's growing anxiety over the safety of their savings following the government's decision not to bail out this particular institution. The banking system is becoming a source of concern for them. Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen has stated that the United States government will not intervene to save Silicon Valley Bank like it did with other financial institutions during the 2008 financial crisis. She did, however, mention that regulators are working to guarantee that anyone who had money in the failed bank would get it back. I really wish these people could withdraw their funds. I have a lot of respect for them as a people because they work so hard. To put it simply, they have faith in the bank as a safe haven for their cash. However, now this has occurred. Now that they have been made whole, it is hoped that they will no longer need the bank's services. I hope they invest in gold or silver or cryptocurrency or some other safe haven. Bank executives were selling off their shares in droves just before the Silicon Valley bubble burst. On February 27, 2023, CEO Gregory Becker sold 11% of his shares. Mike Zucker, the general counsel, gets 19%. CFO Daniel Beck dumped 32% of his shares on February 5th. CMO Michelle Draper sold 25% of her shares on February 27. Unusual. And do you even care? Whenever an incident of this nature occurs, the CEO involved ends up with a fortune. What happened in 8 appears to be repeating itself. Keep in mind the report that Ripple is worth $15 billion, is profitable, and has $1 billion in the bank. Exactly which banks are we talking about? Just how much in Svb? The Ripple announcement has not yet arrived. Now, people are concerned not only about the money they kept at Svb, but also about Ripple. And Ripple's CTO promises an upcoming statement clarifying the company's position on Svb risk. It appears that at some point we will receive a statement detailing the amount of Ripple that was linked to SVB. Nonetheless, I believe Ripple is such a formidable enterprise that it will proceed regardless. Moreover, I have no doubt that all $1 billion wasn't kept in a single financial institution. After the DCDPKG incident in the United States, due to the potential for a DPG event, the Austin, Texas-based blockchain financial service Reaper Financial, which specializes in acquiring and burning digital assets, has announced it will be switching the USC in its permanent drip fund to XRP. Until stability is restored, the U.S. dollar and the permanent drip fund have been exchanged for XRP. Those involved in the Ripple lawsuit said in a tweet that they would keep everyone apprised of developments as they occurred. So it seems that XRP is a safe place for Reaper Financial to keep their funds. I believe in Circle, and the USC will eventually return to the dollar, so I bought some when it depegged. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else. Well, I took it for what it was not and saw an opportunity to make a quick 6% profit. Circle has promised to support USD and make up for the bank's failure and the lack of liquidity at Silicon Valley Bank. Circle plans to close the funding gap with company resources, including Silicon Valley-backed external capital. On Friday, the banking system froze. Circle has made public the USD $3.30 billion in reserves that support the USD dollar coin. In terms of total market capitalization, the second largest stablecoin, were stranded here at the closed SVB. According to a statement released by the company, it is hopeful that the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation (FDIC) will find a buyer for SVB quickly who will guarantee full compensation for depositors. However, the stablecoin issuer has guaranteed that it will use corporate resources, including external capital if necessary, to make up the difference if the Circle does not receive 100% of the $3.3 billion held at SVB. That's why I invested in US dollars. I know they'll eventually be repaid in dollars. Consequently, Jim Cramer is now witnessing Bitcoin's fall below $20,000. As Bitcoin continues to fall in value, now is the time to convert all of your cryptocurrency holdings to US dollars. There is no more reliable stablecoin than USC. To counter that, I think it's safe to say that USC is in good hands. Like I said before, I have more faith in it than I do in Tether. However, if Jim Cramer is advocating for something to occur, such as telling you to do one thing, you should always do the opposite. For the simple reason that Jim Cramer never seems to be right. Expectations for the Xrp are high as a ruling in the KYSE-CV Ripple case is expected any day now. Today's surge in XRP prices can be attributed to the growing optimism among investors that Ripple's SEC lawsuit will soon come to a resolution. This could indicate that we are nearing the end of the legal process. Crucially, Ripple's chances of winning the case are increasing daily. How many of you think the banks will use XRP and the rest of the on-demand liquidity to bail themselves out of their financial crisis? Considering Bank of America, I can't rule out the possibility of that happening in the future. They anticipate launching XRP in production tomorrow. I mean, what's the rush? Why? For what reason do they want this case to be over? For the reason that, in my opinion, Bank of America and many other US banks face severe liquidity problems. In my opinion, however, everything related to this case is fated and has a specific deadline. There's no way for us to know when that date is. But I can't help but think that everything happened late on purpose. Hiring is ongoing at Ripple. Whenever things seem to be at their worst, when most companies are dealing with uncertainty due to the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, Ripple is hiring. This is why I have always maintained that XRP is among the safest investments available today. So, while the majority of crypto-focused businesses have been laying off a lot of people over the past 2 years, Ripple has been doing the opposite. 73 plus available positions are listed on Ripple's careers page. It's a global phenomenon, and these are major opportunities. Everyone is bracing for what's next, so some of them are in the United States, some in Canada, and some in the United Kingdom. According to me, I think Ripple is doing the same thing, getting ready to go. Otter will eventually go global, I have no doubt about that. Despite the fact that Swift has proposed rivals to Ripple and all that other nonsense, Ripple will gradually eat into Swift's market share every year. On-demand liquidity will allow for the opening of more corridors each year. making use of XRP. For this reason, I have no intention of ever selling my XRP. I can appreciate the merits of doing so. The long-term trajectory is clear to me. For the vast majority of XRP investors, the pieces are beginning to fit together now. To make a transaction, they could use XRP Ledger or another similar system. Connecting various networks is the key. This is precisely what Ripple has been doing with fiat for the past decade and a half. Even after all these years of anti-welfare, CBDC advisor, and Ripple laying the groundwork, most people still don't get it. Ripple, they say. However, according to Brad Gollinghouse, once they are in the door thanks to RippleNet, XRP and on-demand liquidity will be the icing on the cake. But now is a time when major events are taking place all over the world. In addition, now is a fantastic time to invest in cryptocurrencies, as those who aren't already do so at their peril. However, as a crypto investor, you have access to all the news, the actual news, as opposed to what is pushed by the mainstream media. Real evidence of the breakdown of the banking system is laid bare before your eyes. You can see how the current financial system is slowly collapsing due to all the cracks in it. Nothing is built in a day, so it will be some time before the current financial system collapses and the new one comes online, but then everyone will understand why they waited so long to buy XRP. That's why we've been patiently holding XRP while the next major run-up occurs. Progress is being made in every corner of the globe. Then the euphoric green candles are lit. This concludes my commentary on this topic for this video. As always, I appreciate your attention. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next video. Bye.